भगवान श्री योगी रामसूरतकुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी रामसूरतकुमारार्पणमस्तु। On this great auspicious Deepam day, we were once again able to sing the name, his powerful name, for one more hour. We have to thank Bhagwan again and again for his blessing. Let us recall this incident again and again. In 2000, Bhagwan was seated there in the chair, and when I was announcing to him, it was 56, 57, 5:58, 5:59, 6 o'clock, and then the loud greetings, the Jai Jaikar, Annamani Keroha was heard touching the sky, and Bhagwan would not budge from his chair. So I announced, I said, Bhagwan, it's been lighted on the... I could not go out, I could not see it, but from the reaction of others, when I reported that it was already lighted and then people have just started to move, then Bhagwan said, people have just started to go round the mountain. Bhagwan said, okay, now you can go round this beggar. So Vijayalakshmi Amma and myself, we went round Bhagwan, chanting Arunachala Shiva and Yogi Ramsuratkumar 3 times as he wanted, and then prostrated before him. And that we understood, he is the Deepa in flesh and blood. It could not have been clearer than this, the way he pointed out indirectly that Bhagwan was that Deepam, the fire of supreme knowledge, the ultimate destination of all creation. Bhagwan often quoted Tulsi Das. Tulsi Das says, there is antakar, that is inside, there is darkness in all of us, and outside the darkness of suffering, one suffering or the other. Now, how will we remove this darkness, the dirt of the mind and the consequent suffering? Tulsi says, you light, you have the gateway, your mouth, and you go inside and you light the lamp, the Mani Deep. He calls it Mani Deep. Light the lamp of Ramna, Shivna, Yogi Ramsuratkumar now. Keep it on the tongue. Keep it burning. Keep this diya, keep this lamp of Nam burning all the time. Akhand Mani Deep on the tongue, and then it would light the inside and outside. So Bhagavan would often quote and say that people should light the lamp of Nama and keep it on the tongue. And that we should see to that this lamp of inspiration, the lamp of Nam Deep, Mani Deep, burning with inspiration. So Bhagavan has lighted, has touched, enriched the lives of many, many people who came to him. His Nama, the Nama Deep, has lighted and removed the darkness of many people. We have been seeing how his Nama comes to the rescue of people, how it helps, guides and protects. We have been seeing incident after episode after episode. We just take Tirumati, Srimati, Rajaguru. On the roadside, she's just making some snacks and sells them. And that's how she makes a living. She says that every day at 6 o'clock she will go to the mandir in Aruppukotte. She lives in Aruppukotte. By making snacks, she survives. But promptly at 6 o'clock every day she would hasten to the mandir there, mandir of Yogi Ramsuratkumar, sit there and chant his name for some time. She says that would boost her business for the day, and that was enough. That would make her day. And she says with the help of the Nama, she has handled many difficulties in life. Her sister was almost blind. She was not able to see at all. And then the doctor suggested surgery, and the doctor said there is no guarantee that she would recover her eyesight. But we will do the surgery all the same if you permit. There is no guarantee. When they announced that, she was in a dilemma, but then she knew that Bhagavan's Nama is with her, Mani Deep. She kept the lamp of Mani Deep, the Nama Deep, burning and praying and praying and praying. Finally the operation took place, and to her great delight, her sister was able to see. The eyesight was restored. Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar put light in her eyes. Otherwise there would be darkness. So lighting the Mani Deep eyes. Otherwise there would be darkness. So lighting the money deep, the jewel lamp, that's what it means. Money means jewel. The jewel lamp of Nama. She lighted that, and her sister recovered light in her eyes. You see, it put light in her eyes. She was able to see. And she says, her relative was suddenly was struck with something in the leg. He was unable to move, he was unable to walk, he was unable to do anything. And then she chanted and chanted. She lighted the Manideep of Nama, and then a Siddha doctor came along, came into their life. He promised to do something and he did. By his treatment, medicine, he was slowly able to get up and move about. Now he is walking quite a bit. He is not recovered fully, but he is recovering. He is recovering. Because Rajaguru lighted. It's going on all the time. He says, Diya ko jala aur jeeb mein rakho. So she is keeping this lamp burning bright. And that fills her life with light, the light of the grace of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Now let's see we will shift to another scene where there is this Viji Kalyan from Bangalore. She's in her 9th month of pregnancy. And she, chanting the name, is her very breath. She would be chanting. Yogi Ramsuratkumar. It became like her breath. And then one day when she was just coming out of some room, she fell down. It was a very bad fall. She was totally unsettled. And she was shouting, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, while falling. She did not shout, Amma, Ayyo, which is what we usually do. She shouted, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. She screamed in pain. Yogi Ramsuratkumar. She was so scared something would happen to the child inside. And then she was rushed to the hospital. And the doctor said, after examining her, what did you say? She had a fall, a very bad fall. No, nothing has happened, the child is safe. He would not believe the story of her falling down so badly. But Viji Kalyan knew better. She knew it is the money deed. It is the lamp of Nama, which she had kept on her tongue all the time. It threw light on her, the light of grace, and the child and the mother both were saved. She had safe delivery, and her child, a baby girl, now a grown-up, joined her first year MBBS, is the light of her lamp, light of her life. She and her husband, Kalyan Ram, Harshita, is the lamp of their life, burning bright. They are very happy because they have this Nama to protect them all the time. Now we shall shift to another scene. It was 1992. It was a Deepam day, like today. But then the scene was far, far, far different from what it is today. The entire Tiruvannamalai was filled with people. There were only people everywhere. This occasion is just once a year, and it brings lakhs of people from in and around, and also from other parts of Tamil Nadu. Now at that time, Srimati Rajeshwari Amma, well known to people, devotees of Bhagwan, who stay in Mother Rajeshwari in Ashram. She is also a trustee. She had come all the way from Thoothukudi with Shri Murgeshji's mother, Srimati Padmavati. They had landed in Tiruvannamalai on this Deepam day, and they used to stay in Adar Lodge, but then this time they chose to stay in Subbaya Matam. They knew that Bhagwan, in Subbaya Matam, every Deepam, they would be feeding sadhus endlessly. And they knew that Bhagwan would come there for the afternoon bhojan, afternoon food. So they stayed on in Subbaya Matam. And then Mrs. Padmavati said she wanted to bring, because she was very much attached to Swami Chidbhavananda of Thirupparaithurai, Trichy. Now from his matam, 4 Swamis had come all the way to Tiruvannamalai for the Deepam. Every year, the sannyasis from Thirupparaithurai would come for witnessing this Deepam. So she was telling Rajeshwari Amma, look, those 4 sannyasis of Tapovanam, Thirupparaithurai, Swami must give darshan to them. But first find out whether they have come and where they are staying. So Rajeshwari Amma took the car. She says she did not know any place in Tiruvannamalai at that time except Arunachala Mandir and the vessel shops and Bhagwan's abode, the Sannadhi Street house, and of course this Punai tree. She did not know any place, but then she had to find out if she had to arrange for Bhagwan's darshan for those sannyasis. So she took the car, made inquiries, and somehow found out those sannyasis were staying in the BDS Jain school in Tiruvannamalai. She went all the way in the car to that place, met those Swamis, and they were very happy to say that they wanted to meet, they wanted to have darshan of Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. So now she had found out. Now before that, Mrs. Padmavati asked Bhagwan whether she could bring those sannyasis to Bhagwan's place, Sannadhi Street House. To which Bhagwan said, oh, there are sannyasis. It is not right that they should come to my place. This beggar should go there. This dirty beggar must go all the way to have their darshan. These great sannyasis should not come to seek this blessings of this beggar. This beggar must go there. And then Swami announced that he would go to the place of their residence. Wherever they were staying, he wanted to go there and be with them. And that is why Mrs. Padmavati Amma sent Rajeshwari Amma to go find out where they were staying, and now that she had found out, she returned. When she went to those sannyasis and announced that Swami wanted to come and have their darshan, of course they were very, very happy. They did not expect that. They were very happy. But they said, we have to have darshan of the Deepam today, so we have to leave by 3 o'clock. It was already 2:30 or so. They were saying that we have to have his darshan soon because we have to leave by 3 o'clock. We have to go and find a place where we could witness this Deepam. She said he would come before 3 o'clock, definitely. And then she returned and Swami was waiting. So Swami, Yogi Ramsuratkumar and Srimati Padmavati Amma and Rajeshwari Amma. Swami sat in the front seat and these two people, Mrs. Padmavati, that is Murgeshji's mother, and Rajeshwari Amma, were seated in the back. And the car took them to this VDS giant school. The school's headmaster, Sri Chandrasekharji, was dear to Bhagwan. He would come every day, till his last breath. He would come every day at 7 o'clock to have darshan of Bhagwan. It continued even after Bhagwan shifted to Sudama. He would come and knock at the door of Sudama at 7 o'clock and Bhagwan would let him in. He was the only one he let in. He allowed. So Sri Chandrasekharji would come and have breakfast with him. So when Chandrasekharji, the principal of the school, he came to know that Swami was coming, Yogiji was visiting those sannyasis who were staying in his school. Very, very happy. He informed all the teachers also and all those people, that devotees gathered there. And they were all waiting. As soon as Bhagwan got down from the car, he went straight to those 4 sannyasis and he folded his hands before them. Then Bhagwan said, "You are all great people. This beggar has come to have your darshan." And then he sat with them, made jokes, and they all laughed happily. The sannyasis were very, very happy. The Swami had come all the way to give darshan to them. And then Bhagwan called Rajeshwari Amma to stand. In the meantime, the principal had brought other teachers and devotees there. So there was a crowd now in the school for darshan of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. So Bhagwan called Rajeshwari Amma, asked her to stand at one point at a certain spot and said, "Rajeshwari, start Arunachala Shiva." So she started singing Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Aruna Jatha. And then those people there, the devotees, everybody, the teachers, the principal, they all started to join her, they were singing after her, and this went on for half an hour. After that, you see, by the time Bhagwan was seated in the middle, 2 sannyasis on this side and 2 sannyasis on the other side. So they were 5 together in a row. Then Bhagwan called Rajeshwari Amma and said they could do arati to those 5 people. You see the 5 of us here seated? You can take arati now. Those sannyasis wanted to go at 3 o'clock, but then after Bhagwan landed there to give darshan to them, they forgot all about time. It was well past 3 o'clock. Bhagwan was seated in the middle and two sannyasis on either side, so he was flanked by those sannyasis, and then Srimati Padmavati Amma took arati for all those 5 people. It was about 5 o'clock, and that was the time in Arunachaleshwara Mandir, the Panchamurtis, the 5 murtis would be coming and dancing and they would do arati to them. So just exactly at the time of arati to the 5 deities who were coming, were being carried by people, and the people were dancing with them. So the murtis were also dancing. And then the arati took place to those 5 murtis, and that was when Bhagwan asked, here, far away, in VD school, he was asking Padmavati Amma to take arati. So it went on simultaneously, the 5 people, the 4 sannyasis and Bhagwan in the middle, and there in Arunachala Hill, the 5 deities. So after the arati, Bhagwan blessed everybody nicely and then asked these people to go and drop him near the house. Now just imagine a normal Deepam day, there would be lakhs of people everywhere. The entire road would be filled with people. Everywhere. Huge crowds. Now these people with their car, they were seated inside the car. Swamiji was, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Bhagwan was seated there in the front. The car had to wade through this massive crowds of people. And literally, Rajeshwari Amma says, the car was literally crawling. It was not driving, it was crawling, wading through the sea of people around. And to our great surprise and delight, nobody objected to the car moving on. And Bhagwan was seated in the car with his fan and the stick and the coconut shell. He just held them in hand and went still. He just sat there in absolute stillness. And the car was just moving through the crowd, crawling, and nobody objected to the car, because the car is generally not allowed. The car, they have to be kept far away. Everybody knows who come to Tiruvannamalai for such functions. But despite all those restrictions, people gave way and nobody said anything, and the car finally came up to the temple tower near Bhagwan's house. Again, people stood up, they gave way to the car and moved out on both sides with folded hands, shouting Arunachala, and Bhagwan in his absolute stillness was seated in the car. And finally, when they dropped him near the temple, it was probably 5:30 or something, very much near the Deepam lighting. Those people wanted to leave at 3 o'clock for Deepam Darshan because they had to find a good place and all that. But when Bhagwan left them, it was already 5 o'clock. Yet those sannyasis did not object to it, did not mind it, they were ecstatically happy. And one of the Swamis, when Bhagwan went to see them, he said, "Oh, this beggar, this dirty beggar has come to have darshan of these great Swamis." He bowed before them, and then Swami Nityananda of the Tapovanam Thirupparaithurai, one of the 4 sannyasis there, immediately said, "You are not a beggar, you are a divine beggar, you are Lord Shiva, the Bhikshandava, Bhiksheswara. You are not a beggar, you are Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the divine beggar." So they were saying with folded hands, the sannyasis, that Bhagwan, was none other than Viksheswara, and Bhagwan laughed, the inimitable laughter of his. So this Viksheswara himself went all the way to BDS Giant School in order to give darshan to them, but said that he had gone there only for their darshan. And they said they recognized the Viksheswara in him, Arunachaleshwar in him. So when Bhagwan came to Sannadi Street house, I remember it was well past 5:30, 5:40. We were all waiting there outside, and Bhagwan called us inside. So that day I had the great privilege of seeing Bhagwan at the time of lighting the lamp on the summit of the mountain. Bhagwan just peeped out to have a look at it, so we also did. But immediately we all fell at his feet. He allowed us to fall at his feet and he blessed us. And then I knew instantly it was Lord Shiva, that we were extremely, extremely fortunate that we could stand with Lord Shiva himself at the time of Deepam on the summit. We should remember at this time, Bhagwan often told people, when he allowed them to sit down, especially when he was in the temple, whoever came and sat with him, he would say, look at the peak. Even ordinary days, he would say, look at the peak, look at the peak. Concentrate on the peak. Do meditation on the peak of Arunachal. So when the peak was lighted, the lamp at the peak, here we had darshan of Bhagwan to our